Okay, so what can we expect from the next P90X?
Well, you know, we've learned a lot in 7 years. I'm sort of a Dr. Jekyll of fitness, you know, so I'm always talking to the right people. I always want to, I want to go to the next level. So we've added stability balls and medicine balls. You know, we've changed the yoga. It's not necessarily an hour, 2.5 hours. We're doing what our customers want, right? So it's about power and strength and stability and coordination and stamina. You know, it's about athleticism. You know, there's 3 different levels to it. There's the food system has changed. You know, dietary aspects have changed. So, as we grow as a company, as our customers become more savvy, we work with them, we change it, and it's going to blow your mind.
The concept of P90X being built on muscle confusion. How does P90X2 build on that?
Well, I think certainly one of the reasons is, functional fitness, core fitness, those aspects of it. I mean, in the traditional P90X routine, you do wide push-ups and narrow push-ups, and those are great. Of course, they build strength. But, now we do push-ups on 4 medicine balls. And we do plyometric push-ups on a stability ball. And we put our hands on a medicine ball, our feet on a medicine ball. It's like plank, 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 We're constantly engaging our core. So instead of just working parts, which is still great, we still are some spot training in P90X, but a vast majority of the exercises, based on the exercise science, working with Marcus Elliott, we've learned that it really it's not only about weight loss and losing inches and seeing numbers on the scale, it's about becoming better, stronger, leaner, more flexible, and doing it 5 days instead of 6.
Well, certainly the athletic side of it, we'll get to that. The athletic side of it is attractive. We've had incredible success with Asylum following up Insanity with more of a sports bent. And I know this is highly sophisticated training, but for many people out there, still the motivation, and for me, is keeping trim, keeping lean, continuing the visible transformation at the same time that they want to be better athletes or just more mobile. Will P90X2 continue to further the transformation along from P90X?
Yeah, because if you look at the best bodies in the world, they're from athletes. Right? So athletes focus on power, strength, speed, agility, vertical height, lateral movement. So as an effect of why they're working out, their bodies automatically change. They automatically burn calories. They automatically become smaller and leaner and build 6-packs and delts and great quads and great butts because of the speed and the agility and the balance and the coordination in the actual routines that they're using. So the average customer, it's a performance-based exercise routine. It requires skill. Just like with P90X, a vast majority of the folks that have done P90X couldn't do a lot of the moves for the first 30, 40, 60 days. Because that's the whole idea. If you were good at this stuff at the beginning, it doesn't work. So the fact that it is difficult and you have to learn some of the moves is the reason why Jeremy Yost, 180 pounds with a fused leg, 100 pounds, 90 pounds. These folks are people that picked up P90X who should have really picked up Power 90 for that matter. But they were willing to learn. It's about learning. It's about patience. It's about enjoying the journey. So what we've done is we've extended the journey. Into a whole new realm.
Now, in that little preview, we saw some pretty intense moves, and I think that shiny new thing always gets a lot of attention, and there will be many people who are like, I'm going to do that one first. Now, does this replace P90X?
No, not at all. It's an extension of P90X. It's just basically more muscle confusion, plain and simple. You can start P90X2 cold, if you're pretty athletic. Kind of like, it's the same, similar, I would make the same distinction between Insanity and Asylum. I think a lot of people never saw Insanity, just jumped into Asylum when they were ready. They had to take their time. Same thing here, I think, with P90X2. It's going to challenge you, I think, in some respects more, but in some respects it'll feel a lot like P90X2.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we've seen is that people build a really incredible baseline of fitness with P90X, and a lot of these moves, very athletic moves, will really require the major muscle strength that you get from P90X, sort of the basic, some of the isolated stuff that you get from P90X to really make P90X2 all it can be. So from a coaching perspective, we actually put a lot of great care into making sure that we weren't making P90X an orphan out there. It's still an important component to the overall story. In fact, personally, I think Power 90 is still the best gateway into the series.
We open up a lot of doors with Power 90. I mean, obviously, it was the first thing of its kind. Everybody in the industry said, what are you, crazy? 6 days a week in healthy food, you're not going to sell that. But, we sold authentic, real stuff. And a lot of people sat at home and went, that looks hard, I want to do that. It makes you all kind of crazy. I love that, It's a beautiful thing. And so as Power 90 was the gateway to P90X, P90X is the gateway to P90X2.
Right. Okay, so give us a snapshot, the general construction of the program, phases. You talked about 5 days a week versus 6, and what sort of equipment we need. Just give us an overall.
Well, it's 90 days, just like with P90X, but like with P90X, you can keep going. I mean, you can keep developing through P90X2. I still do. I've been doing P90X2 routines for months and months and months, and I really enjoy it. There's a foundation phase, which is kind of critical because you're adding stability balls and medicine balls and balance, and you get your 2 hands on a medicine ball and 2 feet on a medicine ball. It's going to take some time for all that connective tissue.
Don't do this workout on a hill.
Yeah. Just roll yourself right down into the river. But, it's a learning phase, really, more than anything else. And then the second phase is the strength phase, which is going to feel a lot like P90X. There'll be some things that will be similar, but there will also be new things that will blow your mind. And the last phase, which is, we'll talk about PAP, the complexes in a second with Marcus, but that's the performance stage. That's when, you are really pushing the envelope and you are doing things physically that you probably couldn't do in the first month, because you need that foundation, you need that strength phase, and when you finally get to the performance phase, that's when you really turn it on. And, ironically, that's when your body starts to look like an athlete. I mean, your delts and your arms and your glutes, it's crazy how people change. And their focus is not how much weight am I going to lose this week, but how can I get better? How can I do an extra push-up? How can I do another one of those crazy circle pull-ups that Tony wants me to do? And as a result of focusing on getting better, that's how your body changes in appearance.
Right. Now, how about 5 days a week? I mean, there was a lot of debate at the office about taking.
I was one of those. What?
Yeah.
But then I sat down with Marcus and I sat down with Isabel and you and all the research that we did, and we discovered that when you're turning up the volume like this, it's really about active recovery, it's about active rest. A lot of people don't know what that is. We can do a rest day with P90X, and the vast majority of people just, sleep till noon. You know what I mean? Go crazy with the burgers and the Coca-Cola. It's not true, but we still want you to have that rest day. But on that other day, go for a hike, go for a walk, maybe get on your bike. Take advantage of all that work you had done the first 5 days and go outside and enjoy the world.
Yeah. I think I draw the comparison to the results and recovery formula, right? I mean, it tastes so good, you want to have it every single day. Have it with a meal. Can I get another results and recovery? You got to earn it. Same thing with that extra day off.
Right.
You got to work hard those 5 days, and then when we say you make all your gains while you're at rest, well, you had to earn that rest. You had to do something. You had to break some muscle down in order for your body to need that day off and make that great recovery. But that's true. In fact, if there's anything between Isabel and I that we constantly debate, because I'm kind of like you, it's like, if I break the habit, I'll easily break the habit for a couple of weeks. So I want to work out every day. And she's like, no. She says, no. I'm telling you, take this day off. If I take this day off, I'm taking this month off. And she's like, well, then stretch. They'll do this stretch. It's true when she said. Yes. But it's true. I mean, world-class athletes rest, and they find a way to maintain their fitness habit and still rest. And that's what we're trying to incorporate in P90X.
Well, all the science shows that change comes from the time when you're doing nothing, not when you're doing something. When you're actually doing whatever we're asking you to do in P90X2, you're breaking down muscle tissue. You're destroying the cells inside the muscle. And so you need an extra day with this program, the way it's set up, for them to repair. And repair requires, rest and making sure you're consuming the right foods. And of course, we'll talk about that.
It's an easy sell, right? Go to people and say, hey, look, do this and we're going to destroy cells. It's just going to break you down. It's great. But just look at the results. So let's talk a little bit about equipment and again, the flexibility that we try to work into every program so that you don't have to have an entire gym full of balls in order to do the program.
Well, no.
They've been here a long
journey. He's the guy, by the way, who wanted to call it chest, back, and ball. But dude, they look at it. No, I'll have fun with it. It'll be great. But yeah, right. We've got stability balls, which Kathy Smith introduced a long time ago, right? So a lot of folks here who are coaches and Beachbody devotees, they have them, but we add that dimension to it. And you need that. You need that instability. If you're sitting there and you're doing a push-up on a ball, there's so much more going on, and there's so much more change. It comes so much more rapidly as a result of adding that component. Same thing with the medicine balls. We have weighted bars. We've added the foam roller, for the deep tissue myofascial release, in between. It's just an amazing, incredible tool to really help. You can go to a masseuse and maybe they'll work on the right part, or they won't. But they won't give you enough pressure, or maybe they'll you're spending $200 for this thing where you might get what you want. But the great thing about the foam roller is that you get to work on this very specific spot that needs it for as long as it needs it. And when you do that, you're avoiding injuries and your performance level goes through the roof, and you're just able to keep bringing it, right, 5 days a week, really hard.
So we'll post all the stuff. If you wanted the full component, you want to make a commitment to P90X2, we'll post everything that you'll need. It'll obviously be available when the whole program is available, and we'll get to that later. But there's also an option with every move, like we always do, that if you're doing it with bands, if you don't have the pull-up bar, if you don't have all the balls with you, if you're traveling, whatever, you can still do the program, right?
Absolutely. If you look at a lot of the folks that were maybe not perfect candidates for P90X, who managed to do it anyway, they were able to succeed because of the modification of variations, right? And so typically you would see the extreme, you'd see the modified, and something in between. What we thought we would do this time is kind of take it to the next level. And we have one, of course, there'll be me in the front, there'll be 3 in the back. And we've got the extreme version. We got somebody, maybe not going quite as intense, but then we have somebody who's modifying a lot and also showing people that if you're traveling and all you have is enough room in your suitcase for some bands, you can still do P90X2. I don't care where you are on this planet, you can still do it no matter what, because there's going to be a version for you to